今までずっとあなたに負け続けた。それでも今度こそ僕はあなたに勝ちたい。勝ってみんなを守りたい。
Oh, sweet, a free computer.
And welcome to hell!
For those of you who are new and clicked onto this out of curiosity or by complete accident, welcome. And for the 72 of you that are still subscribed to me, who most likely forgot I even existed, welcome back. And if for whatever reason people are actually curious about where I've been, and why I've been silent for almost a year, which I honestly doubt, but in case you are, then I'll save that explanation for the end of the video, because frankly, we have enough to talk about already. Now then, on to the topic at hand. Tokyo Ghoul Call to Exist, a rather appropriate title given the fact that a small amount of people actually try to hilariously justify this game's existence at its current state. Oh yeah. Yeah, you tell them, Infamous. You dab on them haters and tell them why this game looks like it was animated in Gmod. Look, I'm not saying that it's a crime to like these games, especially when they clearly only had the bare minimum amount of effort put into them. And I know that Call to Exist isn't out yet, so me criticizing it now might be a little redundant. But seeing as how this game is coming out in like 2 months from now and it looks this horrendously unpolished and will be priced at $60 US, I believe the criticism is more than valid at that point. And also, come on, this is Pun Dynamico we're talking about. We all already know the fucking drill here. Let's just run through it again for those who don't know. First, they hype up the game with the announcement trailer, that being the first trailer, of course. Then, they'll announce the roster little by little at a time on Twitter. Then, later down the road, they'll release a second trailer, nearing the game's release. And then, after that, the game comes out, and it's lively, just as expected, full of people who are fans of the license, playing it to their heart's content, enjoying every minute of it. And then about a month or two passes and then the game dies. Now keep in mind, I'm not saying Bandai can't produce a good game every now and again. I'm just saying they're more likely to produce pure shit. You know what's funny? I was originally happy that this game was being made, and that's because I genuinely thought that this game would pay more respect to Ishida and ignore basically everything the anime adaptation did. And then they tweeted that Mutsuki would be male in the game and not female like she's actually supposed to, and I ultimately lost all interest after that point. Now, and this is very important, while whether or not a game is actually worth buying in general is entirely subjective, what's certainly not subjective is whether or not a game is actually worth a certain price tag, especially one that is equivalent of a AAA game, because this game is certainly not worth $60, not worth full price. If you really don't believe me, then just look at this fucking thing. God damn. I'm trying to be as nice as I possibly can, but I'm really struggling here. I mean, Jump Forces was a pile of shit, but at least Spike made the game look good. At least at that point you could say that it's a pretty looking pile of shit. You can't really say that for this, Jesus. Over-exaggeration aside, the individual models themselves don't really look too bad, so long as the models themselves aren't in motion, because when they are, they might as well be glorified Barbie and Ken dolls. But hey, you know, maybe they were just trying to be accurate and to the fourth season. I swear to God if that's actually the fucking reason. Now, apart from the really sloppily executed cell shading, what else did they screw up in this game, you might be asking? Oh well, not much. Just everything. This game is so poorly made that a 5-year-old can fucking look at this and see that it's just a hollow cash grab. However, I should note that you could make that argument for just about any anime game. Examples of this being Boruto Shinobi Strikers, Jump Force, as previously mentioned, J-Star's Victory Versus, One Piece World Seeker, One Piece Burning Blood, virtually every Dragon Ball game ever made, minus a few. And of course, who could forget that wonderful JoJo Battle Royale game that nobody wanted, but they still made it because Battle Royale. And you would be correct. However, these games bothered to actually hide their quality within their trailers themselves. And I only bother to bring this up at all because it's just about the only thing you could actually credit Call to exist for, and yet they couldn't even do that right. You look at the first and the second trailer side by side, and they'll look exactly the fucking same. The first one has barely any gameplay, and the second one just has more gameplay, as well as showing off that it has a story mode online and co-op mode, which, to be realistic for a moment, they might as well not even bother with those because these look exactly the fucking same. The one key difference between these three is one of them you play by yourself, one of them you play with a friend, and one of them you play with someone completely fucking random. That is the only difference here. And apart from that, there's also characters, and no, I refuse. I'm not going to bother even wasting my time about talking about this stupid fucking mechanic that they keep reusing in every single one of their fucking games. Well, apart from that unnecessary addition, let's wrap this up by talking about the combat. It's Dynasty Warriors. No, I'm not kidding. It's literally just Dynasty Warriors, except weaker. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, and this is speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. Given that this game will most likely not have an open world, the number of mobs you fight at once will be smaller, or at least they'll be smaller compared to games like Hyrule Warriors and Berserk Musou and, well, the actual Dynasty Warriors games, just to list some few examples. And my overall reason for thinking that at all is, well, just by looking at the map. These hallways and rooms individually look so boxed in and linear. It's hard to imagine that this game would actually be open world, although it would have probably benefited from one. It most likely won't ever happen. Or maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? This game isn't going to be worth buying anyway, so it's not like that's going to be worthwhile to find out regardless. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, so in short summary, the game has graphics that would look amazing back in 2001. The game is adapting the anime and not the manga, so if you were actually thinking about picking this game up because of the manga, then don't. Its combat can be accurately described as one of the worst, if not the worst, Dynasty Warriors game in existence, and there is absolutely no goddamn reason that this game should have the same exact price as a AAA game. That money is better well spent somewhere else. Overall, though, I can't really say that I'm disappointed, generally because in order to be disappointed I would need to have been invested in the long run to begin with. But maybe if they just made the smarter decision and just made the game based around the manga instead of the anime, considering that the anime, which was a direct adaptation of the manga, cut out plot important scenes, which in turn created plot holes out the ass, and bothered to rewrite an entire character arc simply to consistently include an antagonist in almost every goddamn episode of Season 1, despite the fact that he was only introduced as early as Chapter 51 of the manga. Then maybe I, as well as many other, would have been bothered to actually give this game the time of day. But hey, they would have had to read, and reading's hard. Well, now that the video's over, I guess I should explain where I've been in my absence, and well, I didn't really go anywhere. The real reason, actually, why it took me so long to get back and upload is because my laptop is barely functional at this point in time, and it consistently corrupted my files, and it led to 1,000 of unpublished videos that I've worked really hard on. Also, I got temporarily banned from Twitter, although I don't know how to get back in. For the 3 of you who follow me on Twitter and were wondering why I was absent, now you know. Also, follow my stupid friend and subscribe to his YouTube channel. His name's Toymaker. He just hit 100 subs, and if you like anime and games, you'll like him too. Also, spam him on his Twitter. Tell him the Godzilla anime adaptation trilogy is a piece of shit.